Not every terrifying encounter takes place in an asylum or a haunted hotel. Sometimes it's an empty classroom or a rotting farmhouse where reality starts to slip and the fear feels too real to fake. The following abandoned building encounters weren't staged or dramatized. They were filmed in real time by explorers who thought they were just capturing graffiti and broken windows until things went dead silent and something started watching from the dark. First, TGF Bro's clown encounter wasn't supposed to happen. The TGF Bro channel is known for wild stunts, insane challenges, and exploring the creepiest abandoned places they can find. With millions of followers and a fearless crew, including KSI, JMX, and Rommel, they've seen it all. Or so they thought. They went in expecting the usual chaos, graffiti, decay, and maybe a few jump scares. Nothing they hadn't seen before. The building was dead silent. Not just quiet, silent. A thick, empty silence that didn't match the city around it. The school stood like a tomb, windows blown out, vines tangled across brick walls, and rust bleeding from metal doors. Even from the outside, it looked like something had claimed it. They forced their way in and were immediately swallowed by the dark. Their flashlights struggled to cut through the dust hanging in the air. The entrance hall was wrecked, broken glass underfoot, lockers torn open like something had rifled through them, and old papers still clinging to bulletin boards. They were laughing at first, calling out, daring each other to explore deeper, but the energy didn't last. Every footstep echoed too long. Every door groaned like it hadn't been touched in years. The deeper they went, the heavier it all felt. The school felt as if it was watching them. They pushed into the classrooms. Desks were overturned, posters still peeling from the walls, some with lessons scrawled across whiteboards, as if class had just stopped midday. And that's when they found them. Helium balloons, fully inflated, just floating there. It was perfectly still in the middle of a ruined classroom. The balloons looked recent, not covered in dust, not deflated. One was swaying ever so slightly, like it had just been let go. Everyone paused. No one laughed. "How are those even floating?" KSI asked, voice low. Rommel tried to act chill, but didn't go near them. The crew stood there, dead silent, just staring at the balloons. In the middle of all this decay, they didn't make sense. Who brought them? And more importantly, when? That was the moment it all changed. They kept going, but the energy was cracked. That weird, out-of-place detail stuck with them. They moved from room to room faster now, less joking, less filming. Something was off. Then out of nowhere, there were footsteps. Not theirs, not echo. Real, slow, deliberate footsteps, just around the corner. They froze. Flashlights darted in every direction. Nothing. No movement. No one else in sight. Rommel called out, thinking maybe it was a squatter or another explorer, but no one replied. Just the quiet, and that same feeling, the kind that makes your skin crawl like you're being watched from somewhere just outside the beam of light. They tried to brush it off, saying it was probably just wind or their footsteps bouncing off the walls, but something about the way they huddled tighter after that said otherwise. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by an unexpected sound, a faint, rhythmic noise that seemed out of place in the desolate building. The trio paused, straining to identify the source of the sound. Their flashlights flickered as they scanned their surroundings, the narrow beams cutting through the darkness. The sound grew louder and more distinct, a metallic clinking, like chains dragging across the floor. Their curiosity piqued, but so did the tension in the air. The sound led them to a corridor they hadn't yet explored, its entrance partially obscured by a fallen door. As they approached, the temperature seemed to drop, and a sense of dread settled over them. And suddenly, they saw a figure, the figure of a clown in tattered clothes. Panic surged through the three as they realized the figure was approaching them. Their fight or flight instincts kicked in, and they chose flight. They turned and ran, bolting out like their lives depended on it. The camera swung wildly as they charged through the hallways, stumbling over broken desks and ducking through busted doors. Their flashlights flickered with each movement. You could hear them breathing, fast, panicked, and terrified, and behind them, those same slow footsteps. They didn't need to look. They knew it was following them. The group tried to stick together but kept splitting as they took different corners. The layout of the school was a maze, and every hallway looked like the last. They shouted out to each other, trying to regroup, but voices echoed in all directions. The building felt alive, like it was trying to trap them. KS. I looked back once, just once. The clown was there, same steady pace, still smiling. It wasn't running. It didn't need to. They finally found the entrance they came through. JMX shoved the door, but it didn't budge. He hit it again, hard, and it cracked open just enough for them to push through. One by one, they spilled out onto the pavement outside. KS. I kept staring at the door, waiting, but nothing came out. The windows were still dark. The school looked the same as it had when they arrived. Dead, silent and empty. But it wasn't. They all knew it. The video ends without answers. They didn't go back. They didn't try to investigate. And honestly, no one blamed them. Because some places are not to be found, and some things aren't meant to be figured out. Second, exploring Ray Copeland's murder farm, CJ Faison, and Mo Sachi's most terrifying encounter yet. This video came from the channel of CJ Faison, featuring him and Mo Sachi exploring one of the most disturbing places they've ever set foot in, Ray Copeland's farm. The place was tied to 5 decomposing bodies and a man who'd made murder a routine. CJ had been here before. For Mo, it was a first. Known for filming real haunted locations across the US, the duo has built a massive following documenting terrifying, unexplainable encounters. But from the moment they arrived here, something felt different, heavier, and meaner. This wasn't just a ghost hunt. It felt like they were walking into a trap. They were already cold, but inside the house, it was worse. The air was thick and musty. The windows were fogged up, odd for a cold day. 2 wasps buzzed near the entrance. Mo pointed them out, already uneasy. They moved cautiously through the house. The stairwell looked janky and uneven, like someone had built it in a panic. CJ mentioned it might have been where the victims were kept. No one laughed. Within minutes, a loud slam came from downstairs. A door had closed by itself. CJ's flashlight flickered. His camera went blurry. "I don't want to go back down there," he muttered. They stood still. Every creak felt like a signal. The pressure in the room felt wrong, like the walls were closing in. Then came the choice to split up. CJ would check the ground floor. Mo would go upstairs. Mo hesitated, glanced toward the window, and froze. Something just walked by. CJ, alone downstairs, started hearing pacing behind him, like someone was deliberately walking in circles. He called out. Nothing answered. He stood by the base of the stairs, camera still flickering, when a bang came from another room. He turned, but no one was there. The door behind him moved again, not from wind. It opened halfway, paused, then shut softly. Outside, they regrouped in the chicken houses, hoping for some normalcy. The silence made it worse. Mo spotted a fan moving without any wind. CJ brushed it off until they noticed a number spray-painted on the wall. They explored a double-decker chicken house next. There were long corridors, narrow stairs, and dust everywhere. Mo climbed up first. CJ stayed behind. Suddenly, Mo shouted from the loft. Something had fallen. A ladder was moving violently, as if someone had just used it. CJ yelled up. Mo swore he hadn't touched it. It just started shaking. Neither had an explanation, but they pressed forward. Inside a small side room, they found a recliner and one random chair placed neatly in the middle of the coop, covered in dust, facing the wall. Then came the sound from the silo. Something banged, then dragged. It was a heavy metal-on-metal grind. CJ motioned to leave. Mo refused to walk past the area again. Back in the main house, they retrieved what they could, then tried to head upstairs. The floor was soft and spongy in places, almost like it would collapse. CJ stayed by the wall while Mo investigated. From the corner of the room came a sharp bang, then a whisper. "Dude, tell me that was you." It wasn't. The upstairs hallway led to a window, one they'd used earlier, but now something was different. A dark shape moved behind a boarded doorway. "I'm not walking past it," Mo said. I'm jumping again." They tossed what remained of their gear out the window and followed. It wasn't graceful. CJ scraped his arm. No one said much until they got to the car. CJ looked up. The window they jumped from wasn't empty. Something was standing in it, still, watching. Neither of them looked twice. They got in the car and left the farm behind. Was it just bad timing, or did something want them there? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're into real encounters that blur the line between curiosity and danger, like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because some places don't want to be explored. They want to be remembered.